have the stick-to-itiveness. All right, last one. If I said Dak Prescott is going to lead the Cowboys to the playoffs, what does D-Fox say?
You know I'm a Dak guy. You know I love cousin Dak, and he's playing incredibly well. I want that to be true. But the NFC is so good and so deep right now. I think they might have a hard time making the playoffs. It's going to remind you a little bit of Joe Burrow last season, where the quarterback seems unbeatable, but the defense can't quite get enough stops to be competitive. So I think they missed the playoffs, but Dak has an all-time great season.
He had unbelievable first 5 weeks, sparking talk about the MVP chances. Remember, they were chanting MVP at the Jet game this coming weekend. Prescott is trying to keep this team alive without their offensive line, without C.D. Lamb. Jerry Jones was asked about Dak and the MVP. Listen to this.
I think he is playing at that level. He is our obviously right there at the very top of the strengths of this team. And what a place to have it. Of all of the places you could have it going well for you, that would be the one you would pick to give you a chance to be in the playoffs.
So playoffs is the question. What did you just say about them chanting MVP against the Jets?
Against the Jets. Everybody's MVP against the Jets right now, man. I mean, that's just, MVP. Team ain't won a game, dog.
Listen, truth is an absolute defense, as my father taught me. So you're not lying. Let's talk about that. The Cowboys, I want to show you their schedule. All right, the next 5 games they have, our analytics currently favor them in 3 of the 5. And they give them a 31% chance to make the playoffs. If they find a way to sneak a win in there somewhere that you're not expecting it, I think at Broncos is going to be tough. Commanders, it's a toss-up game. Raiders feels winnable. Panthers feels winnable. Cardinals feels winnable. That puts you right in position. Now you get C.D. Lamb back. Those offensive linemen aren't lost for the season. The Cowboys going to make a playoff run.
Not with this defense, man. No. I just don't feel it.
They looked good against the Jets last weekend.
Yeah, you're right. I know. Look at him smiling. He looked good against the Jets.
They look like the 85 Bears against the Jets.
You know what? But it is. The defense is the Achilles heel. Look, Dak is playing sick right now. The offensive line, look, they can run the football with physicality. They can throw the football at all 3 levels of the field. I mean, they had 3/5 of their offensive line out last week.
Yeah.
And Javonte still went for 180, or they went for 180 as a team and averaged 6 yards a carry. I mean, so, look, the offense is going to carry their hold up their end of the bargain. It's the defense that's going to let them down.
But that's the challenging thing for the offense, expecting them for 17 games to have to carry them. Like, even as good as the Browns' defense is, you cannot expect one unit to always have to uplift the team. Like, the defense has to step up. And I'm hoping that some younger pieces, some new pieces, that over time, new coordinator, that over time as the season goes on, that it will improve. That's the only way this team is making the playoffs.
They need teams out west to lose. If you sit down and just jot down all the playoff teams, it's got to get sorted out west. Like, all those teams really going to be that good? Is San Francisco and the Rams and Seattle all going to wind up being playoff teams? If so, there's only room for one more wild card, and you got the good teams in the north between Green Bay and Detroit. You got Washington and Philly in the east. So that's really going to be the question. A playoff spot. You said it right when we began the conversation. A playoff spot in the end. There are going to be good teams left out.
I think the game you got to circle is the Commanders game, right? They have to, whether you believe they're good enough or not, they got to take care of their division. That's the easiest way to playoffs. Like, every coach has always preached it. You got and you know them well enough that even when you're not your best, you have an opportunity to get those games. Those are the ones they got to kind of steal. The other ones, if they go 3-2 or 4-1, like if they got one of the Broncos.
The problem when you start counting wins on the schedule is we don't take into account that some of those guaranteed wins also turn into losses when your team is not well rounded. Right. So we're saying if they could just steal. Also, don't blow it against some of these other teams. Some of these games are not going to go the way you plan. Dak's going to turn the ball over. There'll be some fumbles, some interceptions. They might also lose to some of these teams that they're better than.
They have no
really
margin
hard to do.
for error.
Yep, exactly.
Dak has no margin for error.
The fringe playoff teams, what's going to separate them is defensive play.
Yeah,
all these guys can put up points.
Yeah.
All these guys have quarterbacks right now. When you're talking about, like, San Francisco, I mean, San Francisco's not really a fringe playoff team, but you're talking about the Rams and you're talking about San Francisco. If you look at teams like Seattle, look at teams like Atlanta.
They're all fringe playoff.
Yeah, but all these guys, all these teams, the defense is going to be the separator because all of them can rack up some points because they all have high-level quarterback play. Right?
Which leads you to the very well-put question on the screen, and I'll end it with this. Jeff, does Dak have to play at MVP level for this team to have any chance?
Absolutely. Every week you got to be. There could be, like they said, no margin for error. Offensively, he's got to command it. And tip of the cap to Schottenheimer. He's got this offense humming. It's doable, but Dak's got to be the one. That's why you pay him, what, $60 a year? Not a bad living.
Well, it made me think about, we were watching Mahomes, and you said,
Isaac Tesla. Is white chest hair considered taco meat? He gives zero fucks about this scoreboard. These kids are ridiculous. Let me see his birth certificate. They gave zero fucks about decorum. What happened to the old days where you sneak into a motel?
Here we go. Dominique, as only he can, is going to show us a bunch of people in and around the world of sports who just gave zero fucks.
All right, so it's baseball playoff time. It's time to watch the baseball playoffs.
Taking a look at our own Pete Prisco's NFL Power Rankings as we head into Week 6 of the season. You can find these full rankings over on CBSSports.com. And Pete, as I was looking at this article, the first sentence read, "They all stink." Period. Explain yourself as we're taking a look at 11 through 20
here. I kind of came back in the second sentence and said, okay, that's a little harsh.
You don't stink.
Nobody's any good, okay? And when you don't have an undefeated team or two after 5 weeks, nobody's any good. And that's what we'll need the rest of October to kind of figure out who's good and who isn't, because we have no idea right now, but the reality is somebody should be undefeated after 5 weeks.
Yeah, that Dolphins squad, that was the last undefeated one. They're certainly popping champagne a little bit early.
They can't race to do it, and this year they did it real
early this year.
All right, so I want to get to the Browns and talk about this big move with Cincinnati here, because we knew that Jake Browning, we thought it was going to happen sooner or later, where they were going to have to go find a quarterback, because that just was not working when you have guys like Jamar, T. Higgins.
Some teams here and what moves they should make. So, Leger, let's go ahead and start with the Cowboys.
Yeah, Trey Hendrickson. We were just talking about the Bengals, right, and their season potentially being over, and that was a big storyline this whole offseason. Trey Hendrickson was holding out, or technically not holding out, but he wasn't with the Bengals because he wanted a new deal. They were able to finally work some numbers out, but he's a free agent after this year. If the season is over, why not get draft capital? Because you obviously don't see him as part of the future, right? The Cowboys now, they are coming off their best pass rushing game, albeit that might be because of the Jets and how they've struggled on the offensive side. They had 5 sacks last week, but you really need some pass rush. That is what is ailed the Cowboys on defense, right? Their secondary has struggled, but if you have a pass rush, that will help the secondary as well. So I think Trey Hendrickson to the Cowboys makes a lot of sense.
For a third-round pick, nothing more. Not a 1, not a 2, a third-round pick, because he's an older player. He's getting up in the years.
And he's free after this year.
Yeah, and so you give him a third-round pick at best for that guy.
Okay. All right, what about the 49ers? Because this is a team last season, even to start this season, a lot of injuries. They're already dealing with it. So Pete, what moves do the Niners need to make?